Hello, boys and girls. Good afternoon, class. So today we're going to have another chapter in Rocky Linux operating system. The lesson for today is managing output with the pipe, how to use it correctly, the way it functions, the grep, and the less commands. By the end of these lessons, students will understand how to navigate directories and use pipe grep and list to manage and manipulate command line outputs in Rocky Linux. Of course, we need the materials as always, computer with the Rocky Linux install and the terminal access. So it is very important to know how to do the administration correctly and the efficiency of these commands. The command used to be called jump, but now is called DNF. So I need to update this in the guide. I'm going to do it right now so you don't have any confusion when running these commands. At this moment is DNF, DNF, DNF. And it just need to do a little tweak here, DNF there. Let's just save it. And I will be right back starting with the commands that we need to run today. So I'm just going to double click on it and use the last updated guide. So the first thing that we do is in the terminal, we type cd var, then log, and then enter ls to list all the files and directories. And there it is. The one we can use is dnf.log. We can actually use either one. We can also use the boot.log file. In fact, let's start with that one. Let's do a cat boot.log. And this time we need sudo permissions. After accessing with the password, you will be able to see all of the logs located there. So that's basically when you are working at the network operation center, monitoring Linux servers and devices, you will have to have a look, and it is important to know how to access this per se these logs. Let's try with the pipeless to see if we are able to navigate better. And in fact, if you type space, you will be able to navigate a little bit better. Now there is this escape. We are able to see the logs so far. Interesting that it is highlighted, the escape, for some reason. Maybe we are not executing the command correctly. Let's take a look at the guide to see if we are missing something. After doing the cat, is only pipeless, and that's it. Yeah, that's basically it. We are typing everything correctly. With Q, you can leave that. This one, since it's not that long, you can only use the cat and you will be able to see most of the information with no issues or trouble. And since we are using the Movaxer terminal, it's a little bit easier to navigate with the scroll of your mouse. So you can use the scroll of your mouse to see all of the logs information. You can see, for example, the finish, the start, the listening of some of the processes and files, the stop of processes and files as well, mounting points in the kernel. And all this information is very useful, especially if you're working at monitoring alarms related to Linux servers and devices. So it is a little bit tedious. So that is the reason, because use less is easier and you can see all the same information there, most of the same information. You use basically space to go page by page. And in order to return, you have to use Shift and the letter B. So you click on it, and Shift and the letter B will allow you to return. Basically, the letter B, in this case, is only the letter B. Sometimes we have to use Shift and the letter B, but in this case, it's only using the letter B to return. And then a space to go one page by page. You will be checking all of the logs on every page. All right, so with Q, we are able to leave that logs information. Now let's continue with the guide and all the different steps that we want to learn and double check. The first thing is cat dnf.log. That is the first command that we will be running today. So cat dnf.log, enter. You see all of the logs information, especially repositories and packages that we have previously installed in the operating system. And it is very useful information that you can work along with. Now let's use another command so you can have a better view and understanding of these commands, which is the less. We have already used it when we started. We use the pipe and then less and enter. If we use the space, you will be able to see all of the pages, page by page, page by page. Okay, you see all the logs information and all of the pages. Now, what happens if you want to return? If you want to return, you will have to do the following. You will have to use the Shift B or the B alone. Let's try with the Shift B. It didn't really work. Only the B alone, the letter B. With the letter B, you can actually do it. You can go back pages, page by page, going back. So it is easier to navigate if we are using the less command, the pipe less, because it helps us to navigate in an easier way. So now we can use the letter B or the space in order to travel between pages. That's basically it, looking at the logs information and files. Now let's continue with the guide. Okay, the following command that we're going to run, it will help us to do a filter. The grep command works like a filter, and we will find information that is as installed, probably related to packages that we installed previously successfully. Let's run the command. I'm just going to close this window for now, paste it. With Q, remember you use Q. You can actually clear the screen if you want to, and paste the command, and there you go. So basically it is looking for all the install, the word install, and it's creating a filter. Everything that we installed previously related to packages and updates, there it will be there available in the system. So that is the way that grep works. And we will be using grep a lot during this course of action, with more filters and more information in a deeper way in future lessons. But for now, that is what you need to know. Let's continue using the guide. And the next command is the journal grep. That will be another filter that we will be checking error messages. First, we are going to check system messages with the systemd command. So you see all those systemd successfully information of services and processes that are running in the system. That is basically what it does. It's filtering by systemd. Now, what happens if we want to check the error messages? So let's go to the bottom and let's type the same command with the up arrow, and let's change system by error. We are adding error instead. And you see now it created a filter by error, and you can see all of the error messages in the system related to the kernel, for example, or the system by itself. These are error messages. You are able to filter with the grep command. So the command will be journal ctl space, then pipe, then space, then we add the grep command. Then in quotes, in single quotes, we add the word error. And the other one that we were doing, the other filter was systemd. Remember that is case sensitive, so it has to be with lowercase. And now it worked. Now let's take a look to see if there's something else that we're missing. Okay, we're going to navigate again with the less command, the logs files. I have previously explained all of this, but there is something that I miss. Now, if we are navigating through pages and you want to look for a specific word or something, For example, you type the slash and then you type successfully, successfully, and it will look for all the words related to successfully. It will highlight all those words mainly. Now let's go to the bottom until we get to the end. Remember, you can use a space to go from page to page. You type a slash and then you type the following, the book, for example, and you will be able to see all the highlighted the book messages. Let's say that you want to check install. Let's see if there's any install there. So again, a slash and then install and then enter. Now no information was really found there. What about, let's say something, Epel. Let's try with Epel. This Epel is not really showing much information. Okay, let me just go back to the main page because I was having some error there. Remember, with the space, you use this page to travel between all of the pages. So info, let's use info, then slash and then info. I think everything is in capital letters, so remember that we can have the sensitivity there. So if you are typing this, you have to do everything in capital letters. There you go. The info is now highlighted. So it has to be the exact word. If you're looking for something in specifically, you have to make sure you are typing the word correctly and respecting capital letters and lowercase letter. What about Rocky? Let's try with Rocky to see if there is information. And you see there is some information of Rocky Linux highlighted there. Everything related to Rocky Linux is highlighted. So that is basically how we navigate. Remember to go back, you use the letter B, and you go back page by page, looking at all the logs information. And then with the space, you are changing from page to page to find the useful information that you need from these logs. So let me see if there is something else that we're missing. Oh, there is another one. I think we already did this one, but without the last command. So let's just copy this. This is actually the last command that we have for today's lesson. So it is the same command that we used previously, but in this case, we have the less at the end. So after system D, you have less, and you can actually now travel with the space and be page by page. Now, let's say that you want to look for successfully packages. You type slash, and then you type successfully, and then enter. And you will see all of the successfully uh, packages and processes completed at some point, which are highlighted at this moment. So you can see all the highlighted options there. What about daemon? Let's just copy this one real quick and let's just go there to try to find it. So you go to control, you use the shift key and you have to bring up the slash and then you add the word. Let's just paste it here, daemon. And for some reason it didn't really found it. That's interesting. Let's start with other word. Let's try with localhost. It found localhost. So most of the words will be available there, but for some reason, maybe the problem with the daemon is that sometimes it's with lowercase and sometimes it's with capital letters. Let's try with a different one. What about daemon like this? No, I really didn't find it. So sometimes it really didn't find the most of the information, but you can find the filter. Oh, there it is. It found the word, but it just highlighted those. So demon with capital D, it highlighted all the demons with capital D. So that's basically everything that we have to learn about today's lesson. I think we have covered most of it, most of the topics. I encourage you to repeat all the commands, go over the lesson over and over again, repeat it as many times as you want, and to become familiarized with the system, become an expert because practice makes perfect. So Take care, and it's been a pleasure to work with you along with all these different commands regarding the Rocket Linux operating system. Have a great week. Goodbye.